Hello there, welcome to Craft with Fee. Today I'm going to be showing you how to cut out honeycombs. And what I mean by cutting them out, I mean fussy cutting them out. So the first quilt in our English paper piecing mini quilt club was this one, which featured the honeycombs. So I thought that it would be great just to do a generalised video, but also tell you all the tricks of how to do this particular quilt. So if you subscribe to that, you would have received your kit and you would also have your pattern here. And you will find in the pattern that there is lots of diagrams, but there's also a template in there for you to trace off. Now, the best way to get a perfect shape for your template, if you're going to be making a template yourself, is to use one of the shapes as something that you can trace. So you would trace around this onto some plastic, and we did include some plastic in the kit for you. So you can trace directly around this shape, and then you would do a 1/4 inch out from there so that you have a template. But for the purpose of today, I'm going to show you with a acrylic template that we also sell. So I just show this to you here. Hopefully you can see that. Now our templates are a little bit different because they come with a centerpiece. Now this centerpiece is what I use for fussy cutting. If you don't have the template set, when you're cutting out your templates on here, you can just make sure that you, for instance, you would just draw around, let me use this pen, you would draw around your shape, so you would get something that look like that, and then you'll do your 1/4 inch outside there. And this piece here in the center, I don't want you to cut out if you're making your own template. But if you're using one of our template packs, this piece does come out. Okay, how do we use it? So what you need to do is to get your fabric. Now, using honeycombs is a wonderful English paper piecing shape. You can make blocks like this, which are the Lucy Boston blocks, and you can see here that, you know, fussy cutting comes into play, and they look absolutely beautiful when they meet in the center. They can make a new shape by just joining in those centers pieces there, like so. So choosing your fabric is one of the things that is important, and this particular fabric here, as you can see, has a pattern which will fit inside the honeycomb beautifully. And if you move it around your fabric, you can see that it's actually going to fit inside there wonderfully. So when you choose your first piece, like here, we are going to use a pen and we're going to trace around the outside of our template. Okay, so we just do that because that's going to be the cutting line. That's where we're going to cut our fabric. So I'm just using a friction pen here. This is a pen that irons off with heat. But you can use a pencil, you can use whatever you like. Now don't move that template for now. Now I want you to take a permanent marker, a Sharpie, and I want you to draw around some of the shapes on that fabric. So choose a couple of main ones that you think are going to stand out, and they're things that you can line up again. Now I like to do a few so that I know that when I'm matching the fabric for my next one, that I'm going to match up all 4 of those things. Now by using a permanent marker, if you're using our template, once you've finished doing these shapes, you can use some rubbing alcohol and a baby wipe, and you can wipe off the permanent marker. Of course, the other thing that you can do, if you don't want to draw on your shape and you're getting a bit nervous about doing it, is you can just draw around your shape and make a second template on the plastic that's disposable. And of course, once you've finished with that shape, you can throw it away, and next time you can make another template for your fussy cutting. Okay, so what we're going to do now is we're going to get a pair of scissors and we're going to cut this out. Okay. So that is our template there. Our fabric there. So what we need to do now is to turn it over. Now remember that we had our template all drawn out here, but now we need to flip that over. And then you need to line up those shapes again. So you can see there, hopefully, that I've lined up all of the things that I coloured around, and I have lined them up. So what we're going to do now is we're then going to take our pen on the wrong side of the fabric and we're going to trace around our centre template. Okay. Now what that's going to do is that's going to show you where to put your card. So then you would take your piece of card and you would put it in your drawn lines there. I'm going to use our glue stick. And then we just run a little bit of glue along the edge there. Now our template that we've done has fractionally larger than a 1/4 inch. But the reason I tell you to do a 1/4 inch when you're making your own templates is it's much easier for you to do that. I don't want to confuse you. Okay, so then we're just going to fold it over like so. And remember that when we put our glue down, we're not going to go right against the edge. We're going to go just in from the edge. And the reason we're doing that is that when we go to sew these together, we don't want to be sewing through glue. Okay, so that is our first little honeycomb there. Now let's test the theory. So what should happen now is that every honeycomb that we make with the same fabric, with our little template here that we've made, every single one of them should look identical to that. So what we're going to do is we're going to take our fabric again and we're going to find another piece that lines up like so. We're going to put the outside of our template on again. And then we'll just line up those little shapes there, and you can see I'm too close to the edge. That's not going to work. So I need to come over to another one. Now that one is upside down. So sometimes you'll find that the prints will be upside down. So one will be up the right way and then the next one will be upside down. So just got to turn your fabric. And that is the reason why we put more than one marking on our internal shape, because then we can line all of them up again. Okay, so you can see there that I've lined them all up. That one's lined up, that one, and that one. They're all lined up, which means I have my honeycomb in the right place. Now this method, our method of doing these templates and fussy cutting, can be used on any English paper piecing shape. Now the purpose of the English paper piecing club that we're doing every month is to get you used to working with these shapes, and then you can build yourself up to doing a beautiful big English paper piecing quilt once you've got the basic skills. And as I said, the purpose of that club is to give you those skills so that you can tackle a bigger project. Okay, so we're taking off our two pieces again and we're going to turn it over, and remember we're going to flip our template. Now the reason why I like using our template is because the Kitty Rose Cottage is on, and you can read it, on the right side, so that when you flip it you know you're on the wrong side. So it sounds a bit weird, but anyway, that's why I like it. Okay, so we're going to line up these shapes again, remember? So we make sure that we've got our little marks all around our shapes. And we're going to draw around that template again, because that's going to tell us where we're going to put our card. Now we probably should have cut it out first, but it doesn't matter. Cut before the horse doesn't matter. I'm chatting away here and lost concentration, but that's absolutely fine. So we just go in here now and we cut out our little honeycomb with our seam allowance. So there we go. So we'll just line this up just one more time and make sure that we're right. Yep, so that goes around the flower. Yep, that looks great. Okay, take another template. Yours won't have holes in them. Mine do. So remembering we put our glue just in from the edge of the cardboard. And we don't want to use a lot of glue, just enough to get the fabric adhered down. So if we use too much, it's going to be harder for us to remove it later on. So now make sure I just noticed there that I'd actually pushed that away. Can you see there? I've pushed that away a little bit. It's off the template, so which means one of my sides is not right. Okay, I'll start again. So make sure that you are lining it up with those drawn lines, because we want to make sure that all of our honeycombs are going to look the same. Otherwise, there's no point in fussy cutting. Okay. So we are still within our line, so we're fine. It's probably a good thing that happened, because it does happen if you push on your fabric too much, you'll move it out. So anyway. So there you go. You should be able to see there that both of these honeycombs are identical. They're exactly the same. The fabric is cut the same. Where even these little lines here, if you can see, the little points there, they're exactly the same. And that is because we've drawn some guides on our template here. That's as simple as it is. So if we were putting this together, all of these little, these tiny little flowers here would all match in the center, and you would get your beautiful matched honeycomb. So isn't that gorgeous? So anyway, I'll just show you how this removes, because I don't want you to take my word for it. I want you to see that it actually does work. And you wouldn't believe it, my baby wipe has taken legs and walked, but that's okay, we can grab another one. Okay, so you can just buy rubbing alcohol from your chemist. Just tell them that you want some rubbing alcohol, or you can even buy them in a wipe, in the form of a wipe. So there we go. So we can just use our rubbing alcohol. Some of the black may get into the Kitty Rose Cottage lettering. That's happened before to me, that's fine. Whoops. You can see there, it just removes really, really easily. So, as I said, I do much prefer to use the template than plastic, but if you want to have a disposable type of template, well then you can use the plastic. That's absolutely fine. And of course, we're only starting out with this shape because this is the shape that we use for our Lucy Boston Club. This is a monthly club where you get 2 of these blocks every month. And that was the purpose of having this beautiful template, because if you join that club, you actually get one of these free of charge. But as I said, it's also in our first English paper piecing quilt. And you can see, if I bring that back in here now to you, that these templates here would go like so, and then you sew on your other ones. Now to do those little squares here, to do other shapes, and I might as well show you how to do a square. They are absolutely fine, but if you wanted to fussy cut them, you could do exactly the same thing if you wanted. But having said that, you don't actually need a template to do a square. All you need to do is to make sure that you've got a seam allowance all the way around your square, and then you would just snip it off like so. And then you just lay your little square down, fold over your sides, and then hunky-dory. It's all done. Anyway, I hope that you've enjoyed my little way of fussy cutting. It's the best way that I know. It's almost foolproof, I think, because you can get all of your blocks looking exactly the same by using this method. Anyway, I'll catch you on the next video. Bye for now.